across the windswept plains of Central Asia, where the grass bends like waves under an endless sky, winters cut deep, and survival was never promised. The Mongols, people of the horse and the steppe, discovered a strange secret of endurance. It was not a weapon forged in fire, nor a fortress of stone, but something far humbler, something alive in its simplicity. A drink, frothier and fizzing with energy. A drink taken from the very animals that carried them across continents, that defined their way of life. This was fermented mare's milk, or arag, the lifeblood of a nomadic empire. A fuel so potent it sustained warriors, bound families together, and turned scarcity into resilience. But why, of all foods and drinks, did the Mongols trust this above all? And how did a simple bowl of milk become the heartbeat of a people destined to shake the foundations of the world? To answer, one must first understand the horse. For the Mongols, the horse was not just an animal, it was life itself. Imagine a land without permanent cities, without farms, without walls. A land of shifting seasons, biting winds, and grass that stretched further than the eye could see. In such a place, the horse was the only true constant. From the moment a Mongol child was born, their life was intertwined with the horse. Babies were placed in saddles before they could walk, and by the age of 4 or 5, children were already skilled riders, racing across the plains with a confidence most adults elsewhere never achieved. A family's wealth was measured not in coins or land, but in horses. Horses meant transportation, trade, food, and above all, survival. They could pull carts through blizzards, carry warriors across mountains, and when times turned desperate, provide meat, blood, hides, and bone. Yet, their most intimate and enduring gift was milk. Unlike cows or goats, a mare gave only a little each day, and only while her foal was close. This rarity made every drop precious. To drink it was more than nourishment. It was a sacred reminder of the partnership between human and horse, a partnership strong enough to carry an empire. But there was a problem. Raw mare's milk spoiled quickly. In the unforgiving steppe, where food had to last through long rides and harsh winters, fresh milk was unreliable. The solution was ingenious. Mongol families collected the milk in leather bags and hung them at the entrances of their felt tents, called jurs. Each time someone passed, they stirred the bag, mixing air with milk. Over hours and days, the milk transformed. The sweet liquid became sour, fizzy, and slightly alcoholic. What had been fragile and perishable became something far greater. Arag, the fermented milk of the steppe. To outsiders, its taste could be shocking. Tangy, sharp, even intoxicating to the tongue. But for the Mongols, it was life in a bowl. Light, refreshing, and endlessly renewable, it did not spoil the way fresh milk did. It carried energy for long rides, soothed thirst under the burning summer sun, and warmed the body in winter's chill. To drink arag was to drink resilience, a liquid embodiment of adaptation. Arag was not only practical, it was symbolic. Hospitality was sacred among nomads. When a traveler entered a Mongol jur, the host would offer them a bowl of arag before anything else. To accept was to show respect and gratitude. To refuse was to reject friendship itself. Drinking together from the same vessel forged bonds, sealed agreements, and reminded all that survival in the steppe was never individual. It was collective. Every sip carried meaning, a ritual of trust and connection. But arag was also fuel for warriors. Its sugars provided bursts of energy for fast rides. Its proteins strengthened muscles needed for battle. Its calcium and potassium kept bones strong through years in the saddle. Its natural probiotics made harsh, meat-heavy diets easier to digest. And its light alcohol content ensured that it was safer to drink than stagnant water found in rivers or ponds. From children to elders, from herders to cans, all drank it, each in amounts suited to their need. When the Mongol armies rode to war, they did not carry sacks of grain or barrels of wine. Instead, they carried their herds, and with them, arag. Warriors rode for days with nothing but dried meat tucked in their saddlebags, and leather flasks of fermented milk tied to their belts. Unlike armies of Europe or China, who were slowed by long supply lines, the Mongols created food and drink as they moved. Each horse was not just transportation, but a mobile wellspring of survival. This gave the Mongols unmatched mobility, allowing them to strike faster, farther, and with greater endurance than any enemy they faced. At home, arag flowed in every corner of Mongol life. At weddings it symbolized fertility and prosperity. During religious rituals, it was poured onto the earth as an offering to the spirits of the sky and land. At the Great Naadam Festival, where Mongols tested their strength in wrestling, their precision in archery, and their courage in horse racing, bowls of arag were passed among spectators and competitors alike. It was joy in liquid form, woven into the very fabric of celebration and identity, but perhaps its greatest significance lay in what it represented: adaptation. Where Europeans brewed wine and beer from crops, and desert nomads drank camel's milk, the Mongols mastered what their land gave them most abundantly: the horse. Yet they went further, seeing the horse not just as a beast of burden or a tool of war, but as a complete partner in existence. A horse gave not only speed and power, but nourishment, drink, and even medicine. Arag was no luxury. It was proof that humans could thrive even in the most merciless environments by learning to use every gift the natural world provided. Even today, centuries after Genghis Khan's empire thundered across continents, Arag remains alive in Mongolia. Travelers arriving at a nomadic camp are still welcomed with a bowl. To refuse is still considered an insult, a rejection of hospitality. To drink it is to share in a tradition that has outlasted kingdoms, invasions, and the march of modernity. Its sour taste carries more than nutrients. It carries memory. Memory of riders who spanned continents, of families huddled together through endless winters, of ancestors who believed strength came not from steel alone, but from respect for the land, the animals, and each other. The story of fermented mare's milk is not just a story of food. It is a story of endurance, of culture, and of identity. It reminds us that sometimes the foundations of empires are not found in stone cities or golden treasures, but in the humble everyday things. A drink passed from hand to hand, a bond between rider and horse, a tradition shared across centuries. And so, when we ask why the medieval Mongols drank fermented mare's milk, the answer is far greater than survival. They drank it because within its froth and soreness was the essence of who they were: nomads of the endless steppe, masters of adaptation, and builders of an empire whose strength lay not only in their weapons and horses, but in their unbreakable bond with the natural world. In every sip, they tasted not just nourishment, but the spirit of resilience that carried them farther than anyone believed possible.